It tells the entire
But
story.
you know when times are hard, you have to explain and explain and explain and explain and explain.
It go be
Oh, it will be well.
Vim Day.
And for all of you who are going around saying bad things, God will deal with you.
Freudian slip.
There's a manifest. Manifest has a sound. We should drop it sometime. Was it Devi Devi Ebe Devi Devi Ebe Dance Devi Devi Beba da Bang.
Oh, Beba. One day.
They say tomorrow they'll finish second round of negotiations.
With the
IMF, yeah.
Well, that's our only savior now.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, let's get into our Drive Safe campaign. It's brought to you by Joy News and Multimedia Group, supported by Toyota Ghana Company Limited. Toyota, superior quality and Imperial General Assurance, solid protection. So avoid all distractions. Keep both eyes on the road and hands on the steering wheel. Be visible. That's how to ensure your safe arrival.
Great, so let's learn how to say it right. Brought to us by Kingdom Books. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
3 perpetually perplexing prepositions that consistently cause confusion are in, on, and at. Let's see if we can simplify them once and for all in about a minute and a half. First of all, in, on, and at are prepositions of time and place. That means they are used before nouns describing time or places. Now, to help explain things, let's remember them in this same order: in, on, at. That helps us to rank them from general to specific. In January, on Sunday, at 6 a.m. See what I mean? When it comes to place, the concept is the same. In Kokumlemle, on Fanofa Street, at number 355. Oh, and in and on can also be applied to transportation. Here, however, things are not so straightforward. You would say on a bus or on a train, but then you would say in a car. The really interesting one is with air travel, where you can be on a flight but in an aeroplane. So after 1 minute of simplifying, we have learned that in, on, and at are certainly not always simple. But at least we have learned a few ways to say it right.
Right, so that's how you say it right. Let's find out what's in the papers this morning.
And our newspaper review always brought to us by Enterprise Lives. Family Income Security Plan, Enterprise, your advantage, Access Bank, more than banking, and CompuGhana, passion for technology. Ray?
So the biggest story today is Guta closing shops. That's on the front page of the Daily Graphic. But there's another one you should be interested into, which is going down today. I mean, going down literally. Hundreds of buildings to go down at Sakuma on the Ramsar side today. This is Regional Minister who cleared the Aboagye part that he promised he would clear, saying clearly that the people had been spoken to, giving more than 70 days, some notice and all of that, but they're still building with impunity. He met the Nungwa and Tema traditional leaders to call their support. But he says no matter who says what, they will still go ahead to do the demolition. He said it's part of plans to protect some of these areas that throughout engagements, government has set aside for very important reasons. And he was also saying that nobody can claim they had permit to build. I mean, you can't put something on nothing. You cannot claim to have an illegal, permit to go and build at a place and continue even when you're told not to do so. Remember the Ramsar site, a bit of that, and I'm sure we all saw or heard being read from the purported well of Sir John. Yeah. It also became very controversial that an area like that he had gone there to ask people to vacate. He actually needed to put in his well too. So maybe he was able to do what is right and get the place cleared as it's supposed to be. Swami Interchange project begins. There's a sound that makes the entire project very, very interesting. There's everything interesting about Swami Interchange, right? I mean, also it says interaction where there's a intense fellowship is what they call it nowadays, where there's a constituents on that particular issue. But there's a story Winston you should be interested in. The Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High School wants the return of a trimester system. You know the terms were three.
Yeah, there are three.
The government said we'll do semester. The government gave us a reason, longer days. We needed to work
long
around.
contact hours.
Yeah, long contact hours. No. Then, but the teachers are saying, please, the headmasters effectively are saying, please, let's get back to the old system. And talking about GES, the new, the Daily Graphic also has here, Prof. Opoku-Amankwah relieved of post. The Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Kwesi Opoku-Amankwah, has been relieved of his post. That's also here in the paper and on page 1. It sounds interesting, the reasons we are hearing for it, right?
Mm-hmm. And especially when there was a disclaimer.
If you believe that particular letter that's going around and the justification that's actually being put out there, it sounds very weird. We all sat down. We all pretended we did not know that there were rules that had to be complied with. But all of a sudden, we had an awakening of a sort.
Shouldn't somebody be resigning?
Oh, no. Yeah, I'd be lucky that this man, there's some action at this level. But look at it beyond this one. We know that there was some problem with himself and them. At least, I mean, there were a lot of rumor about he having problems with the current minister. And they were not mostly on the same page on matters that some people think might have influenced a lot of their engagements. There's the quarters within the Ministry of Education that some belong to a previous faction led by current Energy Minister Martin Opoku Prempeh. So the expectation is that since you came with your team, go with your team. And it didn't happen. So there's still some friction at the ministry at that level, but perhaps maybe this will put it to rest.
There's also the controversial, is it 2.5 World Bank money that was supposed to have gone into
at the ministry's level.
That has also not been accounted for. It's also coming into this mix. But the Daily Guide newspaper, we don't support Galamsey. So the paper misreported, at least according to what I've read in the paper today in the Daily Guide, the position of Johnson Asiedu Nketiah and the NDC. So the correct position is that the NDC does not support Galamsey. Supreme Court not being packed, according to a nominee that appeared, that's Justice Barbara Frances Akayensu, appearing before the vetting committee of Parliament yesterday. She suggested that, well, she's actually dismissed the suggestions that government is packing the apex court to shift the balance in a particular direction. Produce ex-Maslock boss court orders Alex Mould. Now, this is one story that's been hanging on for a while, and Accra High Court has given former Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, Alex Mould, and Gavivina Tamaklo 101 days, that's a little over 3 months, to produce former Chief Executive Officer of Maslock, Sedina Ationu Tamaklo, to stand trial. I think the court had possession of a passport. Her lawyer had applied and given reasons. The passport was released. She traveled and she hasn't been back. Court asked the lawyer to produce his clients, and that has not been done. So that's where we are with this matter, and we will see how far it travels from where it is now. If you look at the center spread of the paper, Acquah Blangsing, our own Acquah Blangsing, who passed, he'll be buried on December 17. And there are rumors that Kwame Eugene may be leaving Links Entertainment.
Well, let's get to the chronicle for this morning. Ezra chapter 4 verse 22. Beware of being negligent in carrying out this matter. Why should damage increase to the detriment of the kings? Anglo Gold mine pit kills 10 indigenous chief of Ochre Krom, alleges. Now, it says this pit that was created in 2012, still uncovered, and as a result has led to the death of some 10 persons in his community. So he's asking them to do the right thing. Sedinam Tamaklo to be tried in absentia is here. A father in the defense of Aisha Wang also here. AG Lord's Common Fund Administrator for constructing 150 bungalows for judges. And contractor locks out pupils over 171,000 debts. So we're told that pupils and teachers of the Kukum SDA Junior High School in the Sunafo South District of the Ahafo region had the shock of their lives when the contractor who built the classroom locked the facility. Now, he says that he was awarded 271,000 contract to build a 3-unit classroom block, which he did, and handed over to the assembly. Now, the assembly paid 100,000, and thus he's owed 171,000, and the assembly has still not paid him. And so, what he's decided to do is to lock.
Isn't that illegal? He handed
Yes.
over to the assembly. If they haven't paid, isn't the right thing to do go to court, get your money? Why do you lock the building that you've already handed over to the assembly?
What was in the contract?
That's the thing.
The story doesn't say.
But I'm just thinking on the surface of it, it
Well,
doesn't sound right.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's not a very prudent mode of enforcement, really.
The DCE has been speaking, and he says that when he returns, he's out of the district. When he returns, he would make payment.
No, one of the things that actually gets me.
Sorry?
Until then, the school is shut down. Students who are supposed to be studying, the DC is his child in that school. Would they have accepted that if it was
Your
a parent
guess
home?
is as good as
I
mine.
mean, sometimes. Anyway. Well, let me move on to the finder.
Hopefully the local government ministry, that's the mother ministry, isn't it, will take action.
Yeah. Let me move on to the finder this morning. President Acquah cuts off for 4 years so interchange and disruption of academic work to linger as labor unions vow not to resume work. Court orders, that's the mode story you're talking about, and not a story of Mode, but Alex Mode, another to produce former Maslow boss in court. Mode story sounds like, Anyway, and fuel price increases. There's a very comprehensive story that's been done by Elvis Darko, the editor himself, and he says here, petrol is gone up by 94%, diesel by 136% between January and October 2022, with negative effects. Let me give you just a line of that. Now, so we know the new prices will be taking effect on November 1. But petrol has been increased 14 times, reduced 4 times, and 1 recorded no change. Out of the 20 pricing windows in the last 10 months, 14 increases, 4 reductions, and just 1 with no change. So they stayed it just 1 time. Diesel also has 14 increases, 4 reductions, and just 1 no change. And see, this effect is being felt big time here this morning. I saw the business news detailing the state of the Ghanaian cedi, and they are actually indicated that now dollar to what, 12.6.
Pharmaceutical companies, and we should pay attention to that sector. I visited a pharmacy in my community yesterday. They're beginning to record shortages. There are some medications that you would not find, and that's because those who import them are reducing the numbers. They are reducing the numbers.
But you don't have enough money to do that.
Yeah, and they are reviewing prices like every day. It's not even dependent on competition.
Yeah.
It's strictly because of the cedi depreciation. And that's terrible. It must be addressed.
You buy one drug just 1 week, the next 2 weeks you go there and they have increased the price.
Yesterday, a businessman, called me, and he was complaining that he needed $4 million for some imports, and the rate that he's been giving, he just can't afford it.
Yeah.
And he was asking of processes that he had to follow in bidding for the dollars directly from the Bank of Ghana.
That's true.
Because he felt, look, if I do this, then I'm not going to make any interest. And I don't even know when, so he kept getting in touch with me while, during top story when the Trades Ministry, the Deputy Minister was talking about having been in discussions with Guta to have a fixed rate for the payment of import duties. He asked about, what about the dollar? What about importers? Are we going to be giving a fixed rate if we want to go buy dollars? Look, it's that bad.
I met the vice president yesterday at an alumni gathering. I almost asked, so how far with the CD?
You should have asked.
In fact, no, I didn't have the opportunity. I mean, the conversation was very short. He was actually moving, so just shaking hands. I really wanted to ask. I just wish I had 30 seconds. Say, boss, how far?
But it's disappointing that they are not even commenting on the issue.
Oh, yeah.
That's very disappointing. In the Ghanaian Times newspaper today, today. Fight against democratic recession. That's a call by Professor Kakari to media practitioners. Inaugurates modern residential complex for Court of Appeal judges in Kumasi. And 30 galamseyers trapped in pits. Relatives call for urgent help.
Well, let's get to the Business and Financial Times. Market on edge amid uncertainties, and appeal court judges get residential complex. That's also on the front page. And Georgetown University MBA students visit SML Ghana. Back page, Fiman still leads Royal Banks in Club 100. Okay, let's get to our online news review brought to us by Zenith Bank. In your best interest, go good energy and Bigo drink.
Have you linked your Ghana card to your Zenith Bank account? No? Well, what are you waiting for? Do it the easy way. Simply visit zenithbank.com.gh and look out for the Ghana card adverts and linkage tab on the homepage. Link your Ghana card to your account today. It's easy, quick, and very convenient. Zenith Bank, in your best interests.
Let's get to myjournline.com, and it carries the story of Professor Acquah, who's been relieved of his position. His secondment has been cancelled, so he has to go back to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Akufo-Addo's convoy booed in Kumasi, and it says, I am aware of some loss of trust in the judiciary. That's according to a Supreme Court judge nominee. And my detractors in Ashanti region will be shamed today, tomorrow, and tomorrow's next. That's according to President Akufo-Addo. Let's get to citynewsroom.com this morning and find out what's the major stories on citynewsroom.com before we go for the BBC News. So citynewsroom.com this morning says Ghana Bar Association backs call for cap on number of Supreme Court judges. Removal of GES boss disappointing. That's according to Nagrat. Comes in a photograph of Angel Kabonu. And Asiedu Nketia gives daily guide 72 hours to retract defamatory publications against him. Let's get to the BBC News now, brought to us by